It's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge to benefit the Bahamas Disaster Relief Fund. Sunday, December 1st, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. AMF Panorama Lanes, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica. Come have fun and enjoy a few games of bowling for a good cause. There will be prizes, food and drink specials, and some special challenges mixed in along the way. $20 per bowler or $100 per team includes 2 games and shoe rental. All proceeds go directly to the Bahamas Relief Foundation. That's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge, presented by Disruption Network, Holy Pozzoli, and AMF Panorama Lanes. Sunday, December 1st, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar, brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
All right, listen up, everybody. This is former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're listening to the D-Line, only on Disruption Networks. That's the D. Do it now. The
D-Line. Disruption Network's weekly football podcast. With your host, Chicken.
I will say, one of the greatest games I've seen this year.
Caleb.
There was no takeaways from that game. I mean, the takeaways were that we should have changed the channel early in the night.
And still.
Just fucking tit for tat, going back and forth, just a battle.
Forgot to hit the unmute button.
Hey. Wow.
Can I say, welcome back, guys. Welcome to the D-Line. We got the replacement crew back. I got to undo your mic there, Sil. And can I tell you, when I had the subs in last week, Zach and Stu, thank you guys for coming in.
Way better show.
Went off without a hitch.
We make you nervous, huh?
I don't know what it is.
We get you scared. Yeah, Sil, you and I last week, we took our 1 week hiatus. We did this last year as well. I don't know if you realize that we both took the same week off last year as well.
I honestly, I enjoyed the week off, football free. I didn't have to review any film.
Well, if you watch that Bears game, I don't blame
you. I know, dude. But then it turned around. I actually looked forward to watching film this week. So taking a week off, having a nice little vacation, it worked out well as far as for me and for the show, I feel.
Yeah.
So.
I like, we're back. Film. Bitch, you're watching football. He acts like he's doing all this studying. You're watching football in your underwear, eating chicken
Spoken
wings.
like a true coach, huh?
Jeez. Nice try, pal.
What a last few weeks, though, we've missed.
I do want to say a few things before we get started here. I do want to let everybody know that our hearts go out to everybody affected by the storms last week.
Yeah, 100%.
1 week today, we were in here live and we heard the rain hitting down, and man, we had no idea what we were.
It's crazy around here. It's
insane, and it's really it sucks that it takes something so devastating for people to come together and help one another out. But you are seeing that a lot of people coming together and doing donations and help bailing people's sellers out and people are without homes. So kudos to all the firemen and first responders and everybody that's helping out.
Appreciated.
Absolutely. And like I said, our condolences goes to those affected by this storm. So
we made national news.
Yeah.
It was national news around here. So it's bedlam.
These once-in-a-lifetime occurrences are happening quite a bit lately, and something needs to be done. if there's anything to be done.
I was going to say there's not much you can do against Mother Nature.
I was without power all weekend. I had a tree limb come down, take out my power lines, rip the electric box right off of my house.
Yeah. Don't try to make it sound like it was worse than it was.
I mean,
power for a couple days.
I guess it's a good thing your favorite toy is battery operated.
Well, it's true. And solar panel.
It's got a pull start.
It's got it hooked up to the generator.
So I had to go down to 12 North to watch the game because I had no power, nothing. I couldn't watch anything on I didn't get turned back on until Monday morning.
Oh.
So, I had to go down.
Shout out to National Grid.
In public. Yeah, thanks. I had to go out in public and take that humiliating beating.
Dude, it was so gross.
See, I got there after halftime.
So you missed all the horse shit. All 9 yards of the first half, you missed it?
I knew something was up because my phone was blowing up and people were like, good thing you got no power because this game sucks. People are flipping out and I'm like, I get there and it's 12-0. I'm like, it's not. I'm thinking it's like 30-0.
That's what kills me. It never got out of hand, except offensively. You couldn't fucking muster a yard. It was like one run, gave up on it, try for pass, overthrow. Dude, the O-line is just a fucking screen door. Speaking of screens, that's the perfect play to run against the Bears defense because they couldn't stop that all day, and the Bears offense couldn't run a fucking screen because they tried fucking 30 times.
You'd think that maybe they practice some more screens in practice so like their defense gets better.
Well, that's what kills me. I think that's why they think they can run it because they do it great against the defense because the defense can't stop it and the offense can't fucking run it. It's
and I love the excuse that
losing it
when they say Nagy is he says that the pass is an extension of the run game. Bullshit, because the pass is non-existent and the run game is non-existent.
Right.
And you picked up a running back that can catch the ball, so throw him the goddamn ball.
Welcome to hell, gentlemen.
The O-line.
Welcome to hell.
They can't make a fucking hole big enough for a running back to squeeze through.
They should call your mom.
So, I understand Trubisky does overthrow, but I'm 100% behind the idea that it's the O-line that's the problem. It isn't. Is it coaching?
It's coaching too.
Aggressively, scheme-wise, I don't know because I'm not in the fucking huddle or part of practices. But I know the O-line's playing like poop.
I look at it this way. Like, okay, Trubisky last year was a Pro Bowl quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was a Pro Bowl quarterback, granted an alternate after Goff went to the Super Bowl, but he still made it to the Pro Bowl.
Right.
He had a decent year, and now all of a sudden you see him go way back. I mean, like, is it him?
Bark.
Right.
The most money bet on an MVP candidate this year was Mitchell Trubisky before the season started.
Well, they refunded money. Did you see that on Halloween? Yeah. Anyone who picked Mitch Trubisky as MVP, they'll refund your money.
Yeah.
Well, and they brought Nagy there to make Trubisky better. He was the guru. He was going to be the offensive guru, and they're bringing in all these quarterback gurus to help the kid out. And guess what? It's not working.
Right.
So I put it on it's got to be on the quarterback or the coach because you see on defense too because the defense is nowhere near what they were last year. Ever since Khalil Mack went out and hasn't been playing, they've been really. I mean, he's not really out still.
No.
But he's been disappeared from the game.
I just want to know where he went. I mean,
we're starting to see the problem in Chicago that was brought up around the time that they drafted Trubisky 1-1 actually in the draft, and it was is this guy's body of work from when he was in college, from when he was before this, does it translate to taking him where they did and investing as much as they have in him?
Well,
and it's we're starting to see it's kind of like I don't want to say question that, but it's just like okay, we're starting to see where that guy who just started 12 games or 15 games in college.
But if you remember last year, they had designed runs. They had a lot of designed runs and I
don't watch
bootlegs and things like that. So to me, it's like. Well, where did those go? Like, why did all of a sudden are we not seeing design runs? Why are we not seeing more bootlegs? Why are we not seeing him take off with it? And we did last week. 2 weeks ago against what game was it?
Chargers.
And he scrambled for that 15.
Right? Yeah. No, he kept plays alive.
Finally moved.
Yeah.
And Nagy's like, well, I didn't even think about going for it. Well, you should have, because like you and I were talking, the play action pass right there would have caught everybody with their pants down. Mm-hmm. And if you don't get it, you throw it away. And then you're going for the kick. But you just showed everybody, you had no faith in your team. But what that would have done right there would have given your team something to look forward to. Like, okay, now you brought him back for a win. If he threw that touchdown like right there in that game, or got him closer for a field goal that they actually made, we're talking about a different Trubisky. Like, I think, and then this week he didn't even have the chance to come back.
No,
they fumbled right beforehand. But as I said before, he's better in the motion. Like, as you keep him moving. Knowing this, why not quick up the huddle, like move more fast paced offense?
Yeah, it seemed like they were faster paced last year, and all of a sudden now it's more conventional. And I'm like, where did that go? Why the change?
And it's too much thinking for him. Let the kid react. Let him go out there and just play ball. Yeah, so that game really kind of sucked.
I think we're moving over to to Matt Nagy kind of going from that cold ass to getting a little hot under the seat there. I think if these woes continue the way they have, like this has been a collapse, not a collapse, but it just an underperformance for the last few years. I mean, this is pretty crazy for me with what's happened to the Bears. I was a huge Bears believer at the beginning of the year, and this team, what they did, what they've done for this team roster wise over the last 2 years. I mean, this is unacceptable.
It's mind blowing.
It's unacceptable.
I could spend the next 2 hours talking about it. What I really want to talk about is what the hell Sam Darnold was doing when that ball just went by him, and he did one of these.
Yeah. It's bad, man.
Cam Newton'd it.
It's bad.
Even worse, dude. Even worse.
It's so bad. You get kind of a little bit on your high horse after the Dallas win, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't as bad as it was going to be. Sam came back,
or Norton in New York as a Jets fan as the win.
Yeah, no kidding. But you kind of had that glimmer of like, okay, there at that time. It was our second game back, and the team looked like they were kind of jiving, and we were going in the right direction here. Mm-hmm. And then that next week, he just gets dismantled by Dallas, and it just from there I don't know what you do for the confidence of this kid. This is one of those times where I really have no idea what the move is. I mean, I personally think the move. There's no reason why Adam Gase is still allowed to call plays. He
should be
still allowed to have an office in that stadium.
I'm hoping he's on the hot seat already.
He has to be, man. He has to be. The only I guess from what I understand, the thing that's the tough part about the Gase thing is that if they were to hire a new head coach, they'd be paying 3 head coaches at the same time. They'd still be playing another year of bowls, all of Gase's deal, and then this guy. But at the same time, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I mean, this is the This is the team's owned by the Johnson & Johnson. So like they got more money than God, So
and you got a team out there who is obvious. They're not ready to play NFL games.
You think your offensive line is bad? Right. Oh my God! It's a fucking sieve.
So that's where you got to go. I mean, you said you don't know what they need to do. Boom, it's right there. They need to beef up that O line.
Definitely, yeah.
If you beef up that O line, I mean, Bell's going to hurt you on his own.
I mean, you guys had some decent passes that game. I really, it was going back and forth. Hell, Jets had the lead in the beginning.
Yeah, it's just stagnant play calling.
Then that missed field goal is what just pretty much tanked your momentum.
Story of the Jets year. Story of the Jets last few years. It's just.
Now, who'd they lose? Miami, right?
Yeah.
And they deserved every fucking part of losing to Miami too. It was bad. It was pathetic. I mean, there was a play at one point that it was just a simple like lineman stunt left, and nobody picked up the guy off the edge, and he blew Darnold up right almost for this like third safety of the game. It was insane. It was actually stupid. Like
it was actually stupid.
Can you turn my headphones down a smidge?
I could not believe what I was watching over the last few weeks with this team. It sucks. The bad product. Gase needs to be gone. He goes to the podium after games and just looks like he doesn't give a fuck. So yeah, I mean, what the fuck are the Jets doing, John? You put it perfectly.
They seemed all right, but they made Fitzpatrick look like. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the D-line couldn't get any pressure, so he had all the time in the world that he wanted.
Yeah,
and so Miami was passing very well. Run game, not so much, but passing wise, Fitzpatrick looked great. So your secondary was brutal.
So the one game that Fitzpatrick gets up, this is
right.
This is it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really watch much of that game. Like I said, I had to watch it at the bar. So I did see the end of that Indianapolis and Pittsburgh game. That one kind of shocked me.
Well, with Brissett getting fucking knocked out, Hoyer, is good for at least 1 pick to 2 picks a game, which he lived up to.
But he dropped three apples though, 3 touchdowns. Yeah. I mean, you can't hate that. I actually was listening to that game on the radio, and I heard them or another game on the radio, and they cut in on that, and they mentioned that Brian Hoyer had 3 touchdown passes. And I was like, what did hell freeze over too tonight or something?
Hoyer the Destroyer.
Yeah, Jesus. I mean,
Vinatieri missed a couple of kicks. One of them the fucking game winner.
Oh my God.
He's not having a good year.
That guy has the yips against the Steelers.
What is it with kickers this year? I don't understand.
Chicken, we've been saying this for 3 years.
Did they change the goalposts? I mean, when Vinatieri can't kick a field goal, what the frick?
Kicker salaries are just gonna fucking shoot through the roof now.
Yeah, demand, supply and demand.
It's gonna. If you can kick a fucking Josh Lambo, I can't wait till his next deal. The guy doesn't fucking miss. Yeah. He's going to be commanding big money next time.
I think Janikowski's coming back out. I know. He's going to kick left-footed. He don't care.
Well, the thing is too. If you can find one, you can hold on to it for a long time. Then it really is one less huge headache that you don't have to worry about. That's why it didn't make sense. We've gone down this road with Jets and the Jason Myers deal. If you've got something that works, and these guys have such longevity in their career. Adam Vinatieri, I don't even think he'll retire after this year. He might have another year in him.
That's
so
crazy.
It's nuts.
You might just want to wrap it up.
Yeah, at this point, he might want to just wrap it up. But who knows?
He's so old, you can't go back to the fucking drawing board on this one.
So,
can I not swear now?
Yeah, you can't swear. My mom just walked in the door.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and he looked bad too. If you guys, when did you see him place his foot for that field goal? He placed his foot and he just totally kicked out of it.
Well, laces out. The laces.
Yeah, it was really ugly there. So I mean,
did you guys watch that Giants and Dallas game?
I watched the highlights. Yes.
You didn't watch the game, actually?
And the 70-yard scamper by Sir Snickens.
Sir Snickens.
I just gave him that name.
Wow.
The kitty.
Oh, the cat?
Yeah.
I was like, Sir Snickens.
They were so intrigued.
I was like, is that what you call
John,
now?
Jeez.
Snickens?
Yeah. They were so. If you listen to it, Kevin Harlan's call. Kevin Harlan did an awesome call on the radio side of things that was calling that. It was like calling the cat on the field, and he was like, when the cat got into the red zone, he played the red zone ad. It was like whatever they say, like, oh, now the Giants are in the Pennzoil, shell gas, red zone or whatever. And it was actually really, really funny. And then when he scores, he goes nuts. It was
he's
really
on the
funny.
3, he's on the 2.
Yeah, so
I heard that. Yeah.
But I did not think the Giants were as bad as everyone's been advertising.
No, the score doesn't come close to showing.
I look at the Giants and I'm like, they got something to build on. I mean, they're a young team. They got to beef up that defense. If they had anything that resembled the defense in that game, we'd be talking about a much different game.
I mean,
Daniel Jones also threw 2 picks at least.
But he had him still in it. And I like that kid. I really do, and I like where they're heading with him. He gives them a lot more mobility. They give him a lot more options.
He reminds me a little bit of Trubisky.
Yes and no. He's on that verge where he could go. I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you on Trubisky. He has the traits like Trubisky. When Trubisky's playing and he's balling out, and they just let him play.
Yeah, fuck. Mitch was good.
Yes, and he can run the ball. and I think that's the way with this Daniel Jones kid. It's how they progress with him because he could go either way. He could go shit the bed next year, but I feel like this kid, they got something they could build off of.
Oh, yeah, he's got more upside than downside, whereas Trubisky, again, only had 1 year.
Yeah.
Jones has his resume is bigger than.
I'm not done on Trubisky either because after what he did last year and I just think it's not translating whatever's being coached to him. But this Daniel Jones kid, I like him. I like him with Barkley. Barkley could take that at any point in time. And let me tell you, everyone kind of
oh, Chicken's got something to say. Fuck.
Everyone broke my balls when I said Golden Tate was coming back, and it's going to be a factor. Golden Tate.
That was a hell of a grab.
He's a beast. That wasn't just that one grab. I mean, that dude was taking dudes with him.
Yeah, fucking Case Keenum's the cocksucker, and then we've got fucking Golden Tate.
Golden Tate, I don't know why this guy gets dogged on so much. This dude is, to me, he reminds me of
Deshaun Jackson?
Steve Smith. He reminds me of Steve Smith in the fact that like he's a little undersized, but he's tenacious. He's tough, and he's the guy that's going to go over the middle, and he doesn't get cared he's going to get hit by that linebacker. Mm-hmm. In fact, he's going to hit that linebacker. And for this Giants offense, he's perfect for them because he gives them that toughness that they don't have. You know, they have all this finesse, but he gives them that toughness, that little bit of grit, that guy that's going to go and catch that ball and fight for that first down. And you've seen other guys on that offense start to fight. And I like it, and I hope he stays next year, and I hope they grow with that team because he's going to teach those young wide receivers how to ball out.
He does. He has an extended deal. That was too. I remember this past offseason. That was a move for me that made zero sense initially, but I guess now he's providing that bridge. So yeah, it's a little bit more logical now. I remember I fucking hated that move in the offseason.
But because you're like Odell Beckham for Golden Tate, but like
not so much that. It was more or less like for Tate, like a guy who's in a like Tate's kind of in that point where you're right, Chicken. He's a talented, skilled player. But he's in that point where
he's a skilled, talented player.
Thank you, John. But he's at that point though where he's got where you almost see in his career, guys this time in their career going to places where they're going to win, like guaranteed going to win. So or have a chance to get there. A la when he was traded to Philadelphia last year. I know that wasn't so much of his choice, but I kind of saw him as going to a team that.
Bye, Mom.
Maybe more of like a San Francisco or something like that. That he would contribute his veteran factor and
Sill's mom
compete,
always calls during the show. My mom just pops.
Your mom just shows up. Jeez. My mom doesn't know where this place is. So.
But what Golden Tate I like is because he's worked with so many different quarterbacks. He's worked with so many different systems. He worked with, like some really good quarterbacks and some not so good.
Well,
quarterbacks.
He's got to step up now with Shepard out in concussion protocol. He could be out for the whole season.
He's been dealing with that for a few weeks too, Shepard. So
right.
I don't know. I like this Giants team. I don't think that they're as bad as they look right now.
As Giants fans make them out to be?
The Giants. See, this
is bad. They're bad. I mean, but they almost took it to Dallas. I really think a little bit better defense and like
the referees didn't help them out either. I mean, that one pass interference call I thought was kind of ticky tack, especially when Dallas was doing it to their wide receivers all game.
And here's the thing: I want to give kudos to Hernandez, and I think you will agree with me on this.
Keith Hernandez,
Willie,
Aaron, he's a killer. No, like I don't know who his first name.
Willie Hernandez, the offensive lineman. I guess he was unbelievable in this game.
Well, and what was occurring is they were trying to take cheap shots on Jones. They were trying to punk him down, trying to get in his head. And you see one where they just throw him out of bounds. It was a close call, like really could have been called roughing the passer. And he goes there and he starts pushing the guy, and they get in a little scuffle. But it's like, don't mess with my quarterback.
Yeah.
And then you see another one, Jalen Smith Tate starts swatting the ball and trying to swat it out of the quarterback's hands.
Right.
Again, trying to punk the quarterback, trying to get in his head.
Yep.
And Hernandez come up and said, "You're not going to do this to my quarterback."
Right.
That's the thing about Jones though too. He's not really that like I know you're constantly trying to play mind games with every quarterback, but like Jones just seems kind of like the type. He's kind of like doofy, like I don't know. He's like he reminds me of Eli.
No,
I hate to say
I disagree. He
reminds me of Eli.
Antithesis of Eli. He's the exact opposite of Eli. When he came back on that crack block and he threw that block, Eli ain't throwing that block.
Oh yeah,
Eli ain't
different
throwing that
era.
block. But
Eli.
you know what that does though? That tells the guys around you this guy's in it.
Yeah,
this guy's in it, and he's like.
No, it wasn't a devastating block because he was a little low and exposed his chest way too much during the block, but it was enough.
It was enough.
Now, if he lowered the shoulder a little bit, he could have really taken that guy out. But it was.
And that's where you're a rookie quarterback. You know what? You got to go. Make your medal. And like I give this kid credit, and I give Hernandez credit for like sticking up for your quarterback. He's a rookie. The Cowboys are coming in there. They're going to rough him up a little bit. Get in his face a little bit. And he's like, "You're not doing it to my quarterback." And that shows that they believe in him. They show that that shows that they believe in him. Mm-hmm. And once they do that, I think you're going to be looking at a much better team. And that's what I like seeing.
Again, more upside to the Giants than they have right now.
It's amazing. It's amazing what I put this thought in people's minds because I think they've played well since Jones has been under center for them. But not great, but just okay. But imagine if they had come out of a full training camp with him under center. He was going with the ones every day in training camp. It's a talented offense they've got, like talented group of skill players they've got there. Ingram, Barkley, the wide receiving core there is good. But just like that's why it's like I wish they had just axed Eli at the end of last season and just said, "Hey, we're moving on from you. Let's figure out a way to make this work for both of us." Okay, and I brought him back and gone through the dog and pony show of the shit show the first few weeks and stuff like that. It's just if they had gone through mini camp, OTAs,
Dog and pony show,
and
I seen the cat show.
right.
if they had gone through OTAs, training camp, all of that, and started the season, who knows what they could have been? I mean, they could be hovering around 500.
But guess what, guys? That division's not out of reach for the Giants.
No, it's still not.
It really isn't. I mean,
I meant to print out the team standings and shit for this week. Damn it, I forgot. Sorry.
There you go, so.
Well, Zach brought it up last week that would help. It came up multiple times in your discussions, and so I meant to have it. And again, this is a point where we could see how far off they were. Another one of our shows shortcomings.
What do you guys make of this Whitehead situation?
I almost didn't want to put it on here.
Yeah,
I'm in the dark. I don't know.
He made some very choice comments toward fans.
Let's give him a little. He missed a wide open tackle in the game. So
wait, who's he playing for now?
He was a safety for the Browns.
Wait, so they have fans? Besides Dave, sorry, Dave.
So apparently the fans let him have it on Twitter and InstaFace and whatnot.
InstaFace.
The shit the fans were saying was just kind of like stuff that you dog athletes with regularly on social media. Like it happens all the time. And he went off with some very choice racial remarks, some very choice things that he probably shouldn't. Yeah, threatening remarks to fans, and. The team apologized for it and
released him a few
Monday morning. He was gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he went in, and actually the Jets had a similar problem this week. Not as on a big of a scope, but Darryl Roberts, one of their young cornerbacks, said something to a fan on Twitter as well. And he was severe, I guess, disciplined by the team by it, but it wasn't to the magnitude of the stuff that Whitehead was saying.
Everybody's going to complain. You just have to block it out. I mean, like right now, Trubisky, no more TV on the Bears facility because he doesn't want to hear it anymore.
Who's the most dogged on quarterback in Bears history? Is it Rex Grossman, Cutler, or
Grossman took a lot of beatings? Cade McNown.
It's got to be. It's got to be Grossman. Grossman laid on the grenade a couple times.
I was going to say it'd have to be Cutler because, at least Grossman went to the Super Bowl, even though they called him the worst quarterback to ever be in a Super Bowl. When you
right,
and then you got Cutler, who's been there longer. But then Cutler owns pretty much every single Bears passing.
Right. Yeah. So it's tough. But, back to the point is just these guys have to have thicker skin.
Yes.
They really
stay
do.
off of social media. Yeah. I mean, it does no good.
Well, fans, and that's the thing too. Like most fans are just a bunch of pieces of shit. If you're not 20,
except our fans, we love you guys.
Yeah. If you're not 30, if you're a quarterback, you don't go 30 for 30 and throw for about 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, they're gonna fucking dog you any way you look at it. It's some people are just so fucking ignorant when it comes to posting about things. But it's exactly it. Like that's, as an athlete, you should be able to have the digression that I just made.
Well, and you look at like the
30 seconds,
guys like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Like every year, like if they drop a couple games, it's like, oh, what's wrong with the Packers? And like Aaron Rodgers, stay calm, guys. We got this.
Right.
And you're like, it's fucking Aaron Rodgers. And like Tom Brady, like every year they hit a couple like game skid, and it's like, oh my God, what's going on? They're not the same team.
What I'm pissed is it happened to both of them in the same week. Now we're halfway through. I'm kind of glad it happened now and not like 4 weeks from now, because if they get that wake up game that says, oh shit, guys, playoffs are coming, we got to play harder. At least they got a second half of the season to go. So they could still falter as well.
Mm-hmm. And both teams, well, I knew I picked Ravens to beat.
Oh yeah, me too. Right,
and because it was like you look at the teams that they were playing against, there really wasn't anybody that great. Buffalo gave them the biggest contest so far,
right,
and biggest challenge. And Buffalo's a good team, but I think Baltimore is a little bit better, and I think Baltimore has a little more swag.
Physical. Dude, Baltimore is the rushing team in the NFL right now. I mean, you've got to be able to handle that. If you cannot, you will not win against them.
And they're doing the Wildcat style like Miami did. Remember a few years back, Miami did the Wildcat style, and it was really great. Like, the way they did it was awesome. Then other teams tried to mimic it, but they didn't really do it
but the way Miami was doing it was they brought in a different person to run the Wildcat, whereas Baltimore can do it with the same person.
Right.
You know, did you see the whole thing with how Lamar Jackson was wiping his hands on his towel behind him for passes? So apparently Chris Collinsworth mentioned it on TV. Then Ravens called a timeout, and then all of a sudden he started wiping his hands on running plays.
What I like, I mean, it's fun to watch, and I kind of figured like they were going to catch the New England defense off guard because it's so different style. It's such a different style of playing, real confusing. My thing is like, what if they come across a team like if the Bears are playing like the defense the way they should be, or like a Buffalo, a team with a really good pass rush? I feel like they can really disrupt that system, especially with enough tape.
Talk about the Ravens?
Yes.
They can disrupt the Ravens.
Yes, because it seems like a lot of those plays take a little while.
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing. They could, because if a team's got a good pass rush, they're going to interrupt the blocking scheme, which then means the holes aren't going to be there that they're expecting. Problem is with Lamar Jackson, he's such a fucking wild card. He doesn't need generic holes. He'll just fucking make his own. He'll bounce it out and go. So now you not only, you got everything in the middle, great. Now you got to fucking cover the outside too.
And now
that's where he can go because he's that athletic.
But and what I like they did too, and I call it as well, was Mark Ingram was going to be a major factor in that game.
Right.
And that guy is like a bowling ball, man. He's got some legs, he can move, but man, he's a tough rig to bring down.
And that's what I thought. I'm like, okay, they're going to be so worried about trying to contain Jackson that they're going to leave certain holes open on the inside. So it was a perfect game for Ingram. It really was, because they complement each other so much, and Jackson can pass. And I don't understand. I'm hearing these things like, he's still a bad quarterback. No, he's not. I've seen the kid since college light fucking people up. He's fine. That's why the Ravens have
I thought he was a
offense
one-trick pony. I'm not going to lie. I thought he was a one-trick pony. I thought he was just a rushing quarterback.
He's a hell of an athlete. I'm just worried about not if, but when he gets injured. How is that Ravens offense going to fare? All right, now teams can focus on Ingram, but they still got. Do they still have RG3 at backup?
I do believe so.
All right. So, let's check out their.
Do you remember back in the day when Don McNabb first started? And He was that running quarterback and scrambling. He was always running, and then he got hurt a few times, and then he became more of a pocket passer.
Right.
But there was always still that threat that he's going to take off and run. Same thing with Randall Cunningham. Same idea.
Yeah.
But that's Randall Cunningham.
Yeah, RG3. So they don't even have to change the offense that much. He's obviously not going to make the same plays, but he's still a running threat.
What a great pick. Everyone's like, RG3, and RG3 became a joke. But like, as a backup quarterback that plays the same style, same exact
he's
style.
Fine.
Like, I think that's a smart move on that. I didn't understand it. Why do you get these two guys the same type of player? RG3 really hasn't had much success, but now it's like he's more of a mentor and a teacher.
You don't have to change anything. You can call the same plays. You don't have to break the rhythm of the offense. You don't have to whip out. Oh shit. Okay, so here's the playbook I got for this quarterback. Nope, same sheet.
Now I'd like to see if these guys meet in the playoffs, Belichick and
I really hope they do.
Different game.
Yeah, because the Patriots will have a totally different scheme, and it's going to be a great matchup. I can't wait.
And the Ravens are fun to watch, man. Whether you believe it or not, they're a fun team to watch, and they got a good D.
Do I want to see it like in the first or second round, or do I want to wait till the AFC Championship?
As long as
I don't fucking care. I want to see it.
You needy bitch.
As long as New England loses,
dude, it's gonna be a great game. I hope it's like a Saturday afternoon game. That way, I can drink and enjoy it.
That was a really good. I really enjoyed watching that Ravens and Patriots game. Like you said, for this team could be what did I see? The first 200 average, 200 passing and 200
rushing average yards ever in history. First team ever to do it. Like they're on pace to do that. Right. So, and I'll tell you, you know what? I was a huge Lamar Jackson hater. I mean, you guys remember last year when we were kind of making our opinions. Like it was around this time last year when he started playing, right? I believe so.
A little later. I think.
A little bit later, yeah. I think we had like a 4-week sample or something of him. But like, this is, this was a guy I was just like, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to work. I still don't know if the longevity is there. But who cares? Who cares about fucking 8 years from now?
That's my question is because he's going to take his lumps.
Yeah.
How is he going to?
But here's the thing: what Harbaugh is doing. Harbaugh is going back to Harbaugh offenses. It's always been run heavy. Like launch it big with Flacco with the big arm.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like we see some like really cool designed plays, like all the way around. Reverses and option plays, and it's really fun to watch. And he's not hiding the fact that this kid's a runner. He's not trying to say, "Okay, I want you to be a pocket passer." He's like, "No, man, run. This is what you do, run." And then we're gonna hurt him with the pass.
Here's the thing too that kind of shocked me because I think back to watching. I remember watching Lamar Jackson at Louisville, and where he was dynamic. I mean, he did everything on the field.
Phenomenal.
I mean, you guys know from watching him play against Cuse and stuff. But the one thing that struck me when he was at Louisville is he threw for a lot of yards at Louisville. Yeah. Granted, I know it's a different setup, but they were a run and gun offense. And that was kind of surprising. I know he had the jitters as kind of when he first started last year. When we were talking about that was his main issue I had last year was he couldn't fucking throw the ball to save his life. I thought it just wasn't coming out. He looks a lot different this year. There's something a little bit differently mechanically I think they've done with his arm, with the pass with passing and stuff like that I think has made him have a little bit of quicker release. And the quicker release I think is making him think less about the play that's happening.
Well, and
try to over micromanage.
And like what I said, the whole team.
Chicken, do we need to get you a secretary?
I apparently guess so.
Jeez, is everything okay? I mean, we should make sure everything's okay.
Got my mom walking in, people blowing up my phone. Yeah. And you know what? I won't get a call all friggin' day.
I know, yeah.
All day long. Nobody.
It's like Silver's mom. It's like, I wonder when Johnny's show starts.
Johnny.
dude, let's call him in like 5 minutes.
But I like what you're saying about Jackson and why you think there's such a difference, and because they took the offseason and they're like, "You're our guy.
Yeah,
you're our guy. It's
a huge confidence boost."
And they changed the entire offense. They changed the whole look of that offense, and they designed it around him and his talents. And now you're seeing other guys on the team that are like super talented come out, and you're like, holy crap, these guys are fun to watch. And like when you have the whole team buying in, it's a great confidence.
Yes. Look at two teams this offseason that one was forced into it, one made the decision to make that quarterback change and commit to somebody that was risque. The Colts with Jacoby Brissett. Colts could have easily kind of gone out and got themselves a seasoned veteran back. Seasoned veteran. Probably they could have talked somebody to come out of, maybe a retirement or something like that. They probably could have gone a different route, but they believed in him and they gave him the money and they went for it. It's the same thing with Lamar Jackson. Joe Flacco was beloved in Baltimore. I mean, he was a dude there. It's so.
Got him a ring.
To allow a guy like that to walk. Usually, you kind of sometimes in those situations, especially with a Joe Flacco guy, your loyalty sometimes takes precedent, a la Eli Manning.
But I'm wondering, now we're seeing it kind of like Flacco over in Denver. I wonder if Flacco had a little bit of an attitude problem.
No, I wanted to touch base on this. So, can we look up what his injury that he was put on IR was for? Because I'm interested to see that, because I didn't hear of Joe Flacco having a major injury. Okay, and then he had that really weird post-game press conference. I think they told him something before he went to that post-game press conference where he made a comment about losing, and he was very, very critical of the team, and it just wasn't a very tasteful interview. And then all of a sudden, in the next few days, IR. And I was just like, where did that come from? Usually with a guy...
It's herniated discs in his neck. He doesn't need surgery, but he requires at least 6 weeks of rest. With 8 only, back then it was 9 weeks.
Sure.
That's a majority.
Yeah, so, I mean, it makes sense to make this move. And I mean, good for Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen is a very, very weird story. He went to about 6 colleges when he was in college. Could never find really a place to really a spot. But he's one of those guys that, you didn't hear about a lot in college, but grades out to be that pro kind of skill set.
He's also my insurance broker.
Oh, Brandon Allen, yeah.
Right down in White
Beauty.
Yeah. Boulevard. Go see him. He'll help you out.
There you go. That's just some free love right there.
Wow.
referred you.
We got to charge him for that. God, Jacob, hell of a plug. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. All right.
And Kurt Warner just bagged my groceries.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
Speaking of bagging groceries, the Minshew project's done now, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. Makes sense coming off the bye. If you're gonna go back to him, I give them credit. I feel like this was a decision they really kind of mulled over and weren't really sure about. But you paid Nick Foles. I mean, unfortunately, Minshew did take the league by sensation a little bit there, but
that's because nobody had film on him. I mean, and now that he's been having average to below average weeks the past couple. I mean,
but I still
it's not like he's been playing bad though.
No, and I look at it this way too. I mean, what was that last game? It was like in London, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I mean,
yeah. Oh, my bad on the sheets last week, guys. That was supposed to be 9:30 a.m.
But you're looking at.
Do you think any of the three of them noticed?
Zach did. He crossed it out and wrote 9:30.
Do you guys notice that? I mean, do you believe in Nick Foles? Like, do you believe that Nick Foles is the future of this team?
Right now, I think
at the price tag, yeah.
I think he was always meant to be a bridge quarterback.
No,
and this Minshew kid, he's a rookie. He's got a bigger upside.
I don't know if he was meant to be a bridge quarterback because I think I could see this team being a team that's going to go out and spend some serious cash this offseason.
Well, 2 years ago, Jags make the playoff. Last year, they poo-poo. I think he was there to bring that offense back to the playoff team that it was. Mm-hmm. They still have Fournette, so there's still a formidable running game.
They have a formidable team. They have a roster that you look like. They have a 9-7 roster. You look at the roster and you're like, it's like those fucking Cincinnati teams. They're like the fucking Cincinnati Bengals of like the last 3 or 4 years ago.
So he's there to get him over that hump.
Yeah.
Can he do that? Yes. So will he be able to now? I think maybe yes. I'm gonna take a little bit of a jump here because I think he can put a spark back into the offense. Would he be if?
I mean, this is his time usually that he comes in and plays.
Yes, right. You're right. You're fucking right.
Maybe they would fucking rattle off like 6 in a row here and just wow us all.
Yeah.
That'd be something else, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking got it. That would be cool. I would love to talk about that for the next few weeks.
And we are at the 6:44 mark when Chicken said that.
Patty Mahomes is going to go this week, right?
Yeah. He's starting to practice.
I got to give some love out to Matt Moore. I mean,
he did a hell of a job. He did a hell of a job kind of stepping in there.
Even though they lost last week, he played a hell of a game, and he come back, and he had to come back both weeks. Both weeks they were down. Both weeks last week he almost came back. This week he did come back.
Matt Moore did not cost them either game.
No,
that's the thing that's the takeaway that you take away from Matt Moore. Is Matt Moore did not.
He kept them in the game.
Matt Moore helped them in the game. It did not hurt them in the game, and they just lost one of the games. It's just happened.
That defense on Kansas City has gotten
stepped up
way better.
They have stepped up. I hope they don't get complacent now that Mahomes is back.
But here's the thing: we've always seen with teams with really explosive offenses,
right?
Their defenses usually are lackluster because teams are usually passing on them,
right?
And so they look like shit.
Yes.
So now teams are playing them more realistic because they're not blowing the doors off of teams. So that defense has a time to rest. And they're not, just getting passed on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And but man, they harassed the crap out of Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Cook did this past week had a lot of big runs on him, so they didn't hold him back too much.
Well, not many people
right,
have.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid's a phenomenal talent too. But I like this Kansas City team. Again, kind of like New Orleans, the backup veteran was able to hold the fort down. Obviously, Teddy Bridgewater held down a little bit better, but. I like Matt Moore. I like this kid has taken a lot of shit over the years.
Matt Moore's probably got $100 million in the bank.
He's been, from the team bounce around.
Because he probably doesn't spend a goddamn. Matt Moore seems like the guy that doesn't spend a goddamn penny of his paycheck.
The guy could fucking visit a strip club every night and fucking buy the whole bar.
Has a horrible cocaine addiction.
They said he was coaching high school football in the offseason. So
shit,
he's a good dude.
It's the John Kitna effect.
But Matt Moore's a guy that nobody he came in the game against San Diego. Well, sorry. Los Angeles Raiders or whatever the fuck they are now.
Gotta go. Remind me to circle back to that. The weirdest fucking thing that came out today with the fucking Chargers. Go ahead.
But when he came in, I'm like, oh, they're doomed. You know what I mean? Matt Moore, he's no He's no Mahomes. He's no Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes is an amazing.
Can you tell me who is?
Exactly.
Go ahead.
But then for this Matt Moore guy to come in, who's been a journeyman his whole entire career, and to play the way he played, I give that dude a lot of credit. It was fun to watch. It goes back to just like Teddy Bridgewater and Nick Foles we were just talking about. You need that backup. You need that. I think they put a precedence on backups.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot of guys performing this year, too. I do want to touch on Cam Newton a little bit. This is a good one, Chicken.
Did we both just say wieners?
I said dudes.
Wow. You guys are great. Cam Newton, gentlemen, IR. Injured reserve. His time in Carolina is donezo. Say goodbye. Say la vie. This is it.
Liz,
right.
he's still, he's dealing with the Liz Frank injury.
You can't sell me the Liz Frank anymore.
And no, that's what it is. And he's still having pain. They figured he might be farther along, and he's not. So they're shutting him down.
I feel like it's more in between the ears than it is anywhere else. I think that dude needs therapy.
He needs to change the scenery too.
Yeah.
I think he needs to change the scenery, and
I do not want him to go to Chicago, and I fucking know
that's what you're scared of.
I'm so scared of that.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he wants to go to Chicago. I don't think Chicago wants him. Like I said before, everybody who's left him. Wide receivers have talked trash about Cam Newton.
I have no landing spot for Cam Newton in my head right now.
Miami. No, they're going in.
They're going Tua, but I don't know. I don't know where he would go. I mean, but I
does he take a backup role for a year?
No,
I can't imagine.
No. No, I don't know where his spot is, but he's going to go somewhere.
Take over for Tom Brady.
Jesus, Chicken! Come on now, you're stirring the pot. I love. Good Tom Brady news too. Everybody was shitting themselves because Tom Brady sold his house in Boston a few months back. They were like, "Oh, this is it. Tom's gonna go home to California and finish his career in California. This is it." They bought this 20. They bought like a $20 million house in Connecticut, just basically fuck you on the other side, between Foxborough and Boston. So it's just. People read into some shit so much.
Cam Newton, someplace like San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, Phillip Rivers is getting a little long too.
Okay, I could go with it. I could fuck with that. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they get a
talented team,
get a talented quarterback. It's a great change of scenery.
Okay,
good receivers, great tight end, great running game.
Yep,
solid defense.
That would be a good spot to Chicken. Okay, I can fuck with that.
But again,
now you get a mobile quarterback.
Phillip Rivers has to step down. That's what you gotta. Well, like you said, bring him in as a backup. No.
Well, you would have to have an heir apparent. Phillip Rivers is getting a little long in the tooth.
If they puddle, if they
puddle.
Do a MRI on Sam Darnold's head and it's a fucking puddle at the end of the season, then maybe he could go. He could come to fucking New York, okay? Because I don't know how much longer that guy's got.
I don't think he can handle the media out in New York.
He can't handle it.
He can't handle. The media
I like
in
Sam, but
that's why I don't think he would fit well in Chicago. I just don't feel like because he's that cancer type personality.
No, well, with his wardrobe, he'd fit perfectly in New York.
What about Pittsburgh?
Rudolph's fine, and then
I think they're going to go different. I think they big
Hodge did great when Hodges or
Big Ben will be back.
Hodges.
Yeah, but how long has Big Ben got too?
Yeah, but how long does Cam Newton have? It's like, I mean, to be honest,
Tuesday.
Can I play a this is like our off-season show, but here's a good here's one that I'll it's like a Phillip Rivers type of thing. Detroit. Okay, Matt Stafford's wife's gone through a lot of health problems this year, and Matt's older. He's had a good career. Does it make sense?
Good money.
Does it make sense to kind of maybe this is the time? It's like, all right, here we go. Maybe that's a spot. So we'll see.
Yeah, but he might need the money.
Stafford, he's made so much fucking money in his career. he's made our money.
Hang on, he's making money. He's got do NFL players have medical insurance?
Yes.
You think?
Yeah, if you're in the union, right? Could you imagine if they were like, we're just going to stop that?
Right. Pay your own bill.
Yeah. So
speaking of paying bills,
those boys over at Nye Volkswagen in Rome, stop into the showroom at 5865 Tabor Road in Rome and see why all of their customers love their Nye VW. Mention disruption and receive
$250 off
any purchase. Check out the inventory at NyeVWRome.com, gentlemen.
Thanks, Caleb. And Mike Sacco is a big, giant Bears fan. Sorry, Sacco. Didn't mean to call you out like that. But, so, moving along, let's get some of these.
Dip back.
We did last week. So, what were the scores?
What'd you do last week?
On our sheets.
Oh, okay. So last week, let's see. Chicken lost. He went 8-6. Caleb came in second at 9-5, and I have continued my 9-week double-digit winning streak.
Great, John.
I went
Thanks.
10-4.
Okay, that's a great, John. Thanks. I do want to. If we don't mind, before we go to picks, I do want to go back. Touch on a couple games and a couple things from this past week.
We got time.
So Haskins' first start against Buffalo, they kind of limited him.
All right.
I didn't have too many takeaways from him, but I thought Bill Callahan had a nice play, had kind of a nice way to kind of ease him into play. I didn't think it crushed his confidence. They're talking about how I think he'll start again this week. So I think they did right by him.
It really looked like they tailored the offense to him to make it easy enough for him to do, and that's a tough test. Against that Buffalo defense.
AP had a good game.
Dude, he had a great game.
And Geis is back, and they just took Geis off the IR today.
Right.
So bye AP.
and I don't think so.
No,
you still need Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, of course. We know the two-headed monster syndrome. You have to have in the NFL.
Well, and Geis is always hurt.
Well,
no kidding.
Well, that's the thing with Geis in the beginning of the year. AP was nowhere to be found. Now all of a sudden he goes out, he comes back, he comes in, and he's doing great. Are they going to sit him again? I don't feel they should. He doesn't feel they should. But what is salary and numbers and
I think you play them
dictate.
both. You play them both.
I agree with you.
That thunder. I mean, you get that thunder and lightning. I mean, it's Adrian Peterson. He's not so much of the lightning that he used to be, so he could be that power back. He always had that power.
He played really well this past week. But that
and he's got to be
defense.
getting up there a little bit in age.
Yeah.
What is he?
Who?
Adrian Peterson. What is he?
32.
He's got to be up there. Yeah. Those knees don't have many more years left on them, boys.
Well, with all those,
let's not go there, Chicken. I know where you're gonna go. Let's just not do it, okay?
How does he not get tested? How does he not get tested? He blows an ACL, and then the next year he gets 2,000 yards, and you don't test this guy? Come on!
No kidding, right?
God damn it!
I couldn't even talk to you about the Jacksonville-Houston game because I flatly refused to wake up at 9:30 to watch a football game.
Well, other than the totally miffed fucking helmet to leading with the helmet call, did you see that?
Was this on the D tackle or the he didn't touch him? It was like a phantom
He did
call?
not touch him. So Watson lowers his helmet to initiate contact.
Can you start that sentence again and say what you just said again?
Watson lowered his helmet to initiate contact.
Thank you. And for the folks in the fucking back row, Watson lowered his helmet and initiated contact. The fucking quarterback.
The whole my whole Josh Allen thing. The quarterbacks are lowering their helmet, not to take the brunt, but to dish it out. That's a flag. And then the defender comes in and whiffs on the tackle and gets called for leading with his helmet with intention to and it's bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah, it really is.
And the fact that it's not reviewable is horse bananas.
Yeah.
And how about some of these reviewable calls that we've seen in that Dallas game, Giants game?
Speaking of reviewable calls, I'm getting fucking sick of the pass interference reviews all the time.
I know. I don't.
But in that Giants and
they're
Dallas
getting it right though. I hate it, but
they're not getting it right because
no?
it was pass interference, and they still it wasn't inconclusive. Bitch, the dude hit him before the ball got there.
Right.
That's pass interference, and they still didn't overturn it.
There's another play in the Colts game too. McAfee, Pat McAfee, their old punter. I follow him on Twitter. He's a great follow. And there's a play that the Colts players just playing good defense and they throw the flag and then they review it and they still upheld it. It's just like, oh man, here we go down this rabbit hole again of just bullshit going on with the NFL and the referee systems. It's just, I don't know. We go on down that rabbit hole all the time about the referees, but it's frustrating.
I know. I really wanted to put that on the sheet, but I'm like, dude, we go off on the refs every fucking week. I really don't want to do it again, but it just pass interference seemed to be a big theme this week.
Yeah,
and it was kind of gross.
Yeah.
let's see. So the other two that I wanted to go to, these fucking Chargers. I don't know what to make of them. They looked unbelievable against the fucking Packers. I thought this past week. I thought they looked
against the Bears too.
I thought they looked fucking phenomenal. They were moving the ball well on offense. I mean, Bosa's
played great. Dude, they kept getting to Rodgers.
Bosa's an animal, man.
Oh my God.
Bosa and Ingram, both of them.
And that's the Green Bay's offensive line's always been respectable.
Yeah,
there's never been a time that I've been a football fan that I've known the Green Bay Packers to have a bad offensive line. Mm-hmm. And you guys can attest to that. You have to face it twice a year. So, I was blown away with some of the plays that they were running with Ingram and Bosa and stuff. I thought they were awesome.
Well, my thing is I don't know what scheme San Diego was playing. Maybe it was more man-to-man to play tight end. Because normally Rodgers is 1, 2, 3, it's gone. All right, he's got a great quick release. That's why the Bears always have Brown with him, because it takes them too long to get there. I just thinking about it now as you brought that up, I'm like, they had to have been playing tight man just to take that away.
Or probably bumping them at the line.
Right.
Bumping at the line with that pass rush coming at them.
Take it away. Now it gives your D-line time to get there, and that's what was happening.
Yeah. No.
I can't believe how many times on third down, and I'm like, it's still third and long, and they're getting to him on the third and long.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So their defense played. I think it's more of a testament to their defense than it is the offense, because we know the offense is capable. And Gordon finally fucking came out of his fucking shell this week. So and he had a solid game.
Yeah.
So are we going to roll right into the first game here, guys?
Sure. Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
Because this game right here, like if you told me in the beginning of the year, I'm going Chargers all the way, like easy, not even thinking about it, but. Man, this Oakland team has been playing tough.
And they're playing well quietly too.
It's in Oakland. I like what Oakland's doing.
I don't think excuse me, I don't think really either one of these teams have much of a home team.
But the Raiders have a much
baseball
better
field
fan base.
You're right. You know,
that crowd is crazy. They let opposing teams have it. I'll go first.
Go for it.
I'm taking Oakland easily in this one. The line did start out with the Raiders favored by 1.5. It's switched down to Chargers by 1 now. So
do you guys know Raiders are second in this division?
Right.
It's like I thought they were going to be decelerate.
I totally agree. I thought it was going to be another bad year for them, but their running back is playing great. Their fucking O-line. I think that's the biggest difference for them this year is they actually have time to fucking do something offensively, and the defense is okay. I think I
thought their D-line was really strong.
I think they'll do enough this week to beat the Chargers.
Caleb?
Chargers. I'm going Chargers. If we can get that team that was pumping all cylinders last week, I thought for the Chargers, if we can get them,
it's a tough call.
It is a tough call. I can't. You're absolutely right, John. Oakland's been playing unbelievable. Consistency. I thought a lot more consistency than I thought we were going to have with the Raiders. I thought the Raiders could be a very fluctuating team.
And that's the thing. This is the Chargers. The Chargers is that fucking wave sign.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, they've had 2 wins. Guess what? They're going down.
Well, it's like
it's like the Tennessee Titans.
The Raiders got blown out by the Green Bay Packers, and then the Chargers come in there and hand Green Bay their ass.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't really get a read on these guys.
Right.
And the Chargers are always one of those teams that they're slow starter. Every year they're like, oh, they're out of it. And then all of a sudden, boom, next thing you know, they go on this like 8-game terror, and you're like, holy shit, these guys are legit.
Right. So are the Chargers back? You know what? I don't want to be
Super Bowl contender.
I don't want to be Falconed again this week, so I'm gonna
up on that again.
Right. I'm gonna pick the Raiders.
I kind of want to go with the Raiders. Because the Chargers have been so wishy-washy. Mm-hmm. But the Chargers you bring up the Falcons, and it's kind of funny because when I bet on the Oakland Raiders, they lose. But against them, they win. I'm going Chargers. I like the tear that Bosa and Ingram are on, and I think if they can get to Derek Carr, they can get him to throw some mistakes.
What's good about this close game? Oh, did you get our picks into 3 and out? Okay. What's good is with this being such a close game, we'll actually get it out of the way within the next 4 hours here. So we'll be able to see who wins this. Mm-hmm. It's cool. It's a Thursday night game. It's actually a good Thursday night game.
Yeah. Good divisional matchup.
5 weeks ago, this looked like a shit show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now it's actually a good game.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's move it on to Tennessee and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Mahomes coming back. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. And
I'm not like that quick to pull the trigger on Kansas City here. I mean, as Sil is.
You're gonna go Tannehill?
No, I'm not gonna do that. But I mean, yeah, Kansas City. It's a no-brainer. But
I mean, Vrabel played there for a while. I mean, maybe he's got some. No,
this could be something. Whatever. Again, because you don't know what fucking Tennessee team you're gonna get.
But there's so much talent on that Kansas City team. Like they could beat you in so many ways.
Tannehill, he played okay, but that Panther D-line got to him a little bit last week. So but again, the Chiefs' defense has been playing well as of late.
If they can keep Derrick Henry under wraps.
Yeah, he was huge last week for the Titans, and he kept him in that game. And Christ, one drive, he was that whole offensive drive.
If you had to take Derrick Henry or Leonard Fournette, who do you take?
I love the way Henry runs and his work ethic and his attitude.
Leonard Fournette's a beast.
I know. But
like the two of them, they to me they're very similar. Like it's hard to choose one or the other. But man,
with as tall as Henry is, he runs low. So I like that.
Leonard Fournette's a pretty tall dude too.
It's attitude.
I don't know
it's attitude for me.
It's a tough call, right? Yeah. Who's got better hands? I guess it comes down to maybe.
Fuck.
Well, that one's a tough one.
So Caleb, you're still going Chiefs on this?
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs. 3 Chiefs.
3
Yeah, 3
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
It is.
Cleveland Browns and Buffalo Bills.
How are the Browns favored by 3?
The Browns are the AFC Bills. No, wait, they're both AFC. Never mind, we can't even do that.
Yeah, why are the Browns favored by 3?
It blew my mind. I don't care if you're
Baker Mayfield looks like a beaten man.
He does. He looks like he's halfway to Johnny Football.
I mean,
remember we seen Johnny Football? He looked like a football player, and then by the end he looked like a crackhead.
Yeah,
right.
Like he's halfway to crackhead.
I mean, I'm seeing Freddie reports this week that Kitchens is on the hot seat. I'm like, are you serious?
You can't take the heat. Get out of Kitchens.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It was so bad. It's a dad joke of dad jokes. Oh my god.
Kitchen needs.
My dad just went, oh my fucking god.
Is that why your mom's calling?
Yeah, your dad just went, oh.
You gave your dad a headache. Now his dick is down.
I'm gonna go Buffalo. Buffalo's defense is awesome right now.
Yeah, I'm easily going Buffalo on this one.
Cleveland is in such disarray. Buffalo's been pretty steady. I know that's really weird to say about Buffalo this time of year. Usually, this is when they usually shit the bed, and all Buffalo fans are holding their breath. But they haven't showed that yet, and I don't know if they're gonna. I mean, maybe this Buffalo team is something legit.
We're all waiting.
Oh yeah, we're waiting.
We're just fucking. I'm like just sitting on my porch watching the storm come in. Like at this point, like. It's just a matter of like, okay, how long,
thunder,
like, and I don't want. Yeah, it's like, okay, I count the seconds between the thunder and the lightning. You know,
I mean, the Bills have lost against 2 good teams, the Eagles and the Patriots.
Yeah,
so that's why I expect them to win this game. They haven't lost to a mediocre team or less. It's like they're losing to good teams.
And let's call it what it is. The Bills right now are a good team.
Yeah.
They're one of the good teams in the league.
Little controversy, too, in Cleveland. Big surprise. Odell had a little bit of a hissy fit last week on the sidelines. I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but he was a little bit unhappy that
when he was wide open and he just didn't even get the look.
I was very surprised, and I this was kind of glanced over this week, but one of the sideline reporter for CBS, they switched over to that game at the end when they were trying to make the final drive, and they got stuffed on fourth down there at the end. Cleveland did. And I guess what the sideline reporter came over and said that Odell was like pissed, complaining at why he like saying, I don't know why I'm ever going to get the ball. I don't ever get the ball and stuff like that, which is true. They're in a 4th down spot, and you got to go to your guy, even if you're throwing it up to your guy, because that guy makes plays.
Yep.
And that's and that is very weird, and I think that's I don't think him and Baker Mayfield have the best of camaraderie going right now. I think they need to get more on the same page.
Camaraderie or chemistry. They might not have the same chemistry. I mean, like, it took Eli Manning a while to kind of. I mean, he played with Odell for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's been a few off seasons.
Steve Young and Jerry Rice didn't happen fucking over one season.
Yeah.
It took a couple of years.
And he also backed up Joe Montana.
Right.
So, I mean, like, he had some time to, like...
You got to give these... That's the thing. Nobody wants to fucking wait anymore.
You know, like,
it just takes fucking time.
Well, we also, these are the things I think we have to remember. And I hate to sound like my fucking granddaddy always told me this, but like it's just like these are not things that would happen, a few years ago. These are not things that would be, this is a conversation we wouldn't have even probably 10 years ago.
Well, you remember Peyton?
Because it's blown up by how we interact in this world now, with social media. I hate to say it, with social media.
It is social media.
So we know about it quick.
Patience does not exist anymore. Thank you, social media.
Well, we also have...
The fact that Freddie Kitchens is on the hot seat is gross.
Don't forget we have NFL Network. We have all this 24-hour coverage that they got to, find things to talk about.
Here's the thing too. With if you're a beat writer and you're talking about the Browns, and you see all these fans start tweeting about Fire Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah,
your fucking article is gonna be fire. Let's talk about Fire Freddie Kitchens.
Right. Look at like the rumor of
let's play to the fans
of Cam Newton going to the Bears. I've heard nothing about it.
Right.
Nothing about it on any legitimate source. But it's all these like beat writers just throwing throwing it out there. Let's hypothesize, like, what if this happens?
I'm worried about it. Well, that's the thing. I didn't even know it was out there, but personally, as a fan, I'm worried about it. It's like people who I want in my organization and people who I don't.
Yeah, we just talk about we get to know, we talk about so much stuff that I think could make a player's development easier if it wasn't spoken so much about, or didn't have to be known about. It's that stuff that, like, these a lot of the stuff that we speak of too is stuff that used to be just left in the locker room.
Right.
It was never aired over public airways.
And here's the difference between the Browns and the Bills right now.
Yeah.
Is in the offseason, the Browns made all these like glossy, huge acquisitions, right? And everyone's like, "Oh my God, they're going to turn it around," and they have. Yeah. I mean, they're a team that people kind of worry about a little.
It's a rebuild.
They where they came from. This is a team that went almost 2 seasons without winning a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you got Buffalo, who in the offseason were like, they didn't do shit, dude. Like, they didn't do nothing. Like,
blue collar pickups.
Who are these guys going to be? Like, what's their identity? These Bills that haven't showed me anything, And now we're like, man, these Bills are like playing tough. Like you said, blue collar guys that didn't make a lot of headlines, but they're like
no splashes.
Like Frank Gore. I mean, this guy's a Hall of Famer, but he kind of went
Cole Beasley.
Yeah, Cole Beasley, but
John Brown,
guys that are work guys.
Workhorses.
Like, and Cleveland hasn't lived up to that, and Buffalo exceeded expectations. Mm-hmm. So Buffalo believes a little bit now, whereas Cleveland's a little bit like, man, I don't know. Like, Odell's getting a little beefy. He's starting to cry a little bit.
But this is go ahead, sir.
The dissension is starting to happen.
Yeah.
So I see two teams on different levels. Like Cleveland's still kind of like believing we're still Cleveland. Buffalo's like, you know what? I think we got this.
I also think that comes too from. This is why you don't give up on Kitchens, because Sean McDermott's message has been conveyed through the veterans of that team, the guys who have been there with him the entire time he's been there. So his message is not a new one or not a different one from what has been the previous message, a la Freddie Kitchens. Even though he had a couple games last year, those don't mean anything.
Half these guys weren't even on the team.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is their first chance. This is their first season. So we just. Sean McVay's first season was in LA wasn't the best either.
And I think if the acquisitions weren't so gaudy, like we wouldn't be having these conversations. We'd be giving their time to gel a little bit.
Yeah.
But because you went out and you spent all this money and you got all these huge names, people wanted instant results. And they don't realize you got to build chemistry, man. You got to gel together. I think they'll be okay if they don't completely fall off the wagon.
Yep.
So we all going Buffalo?
Yeah. The line even opened up. I checked it out. It opened at Cleveland -2.5. So I'm blown out of the water.
While we were talking about Buffalo, I do want to bring up something that we're in the works of. We are working with the American Cancer Society. Mm-hmm. I didn't even have a chance to talk to you about this. We're going to be doing squares for Thanksgiving Day games. See here, and so we got the Buffalo-Dallas game, we have the Falcons and Saints game, and then we also have the Lions and the Bears game. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be selling squares, and the proceeds go to the Real Men Wear Pink campaign, which is to for breast cancer research and things like that. So I'm going to have more details on this once I talk to Melanie, who's been on this show. Unfortunately, she's a Green Bay Packers fan. But she's going to come back on and discuss a little bit more about this. But I think this is going to be really cool, a lot of fun. Gives a chance for some of our listeners to win some money and to raise money for a great cause.
Yes.
Definitely.
So stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more of that coming your way, figuring out what, the actual rules. Because,
Cool.
we don't
Like it.
We don't like rules, but we got to follow.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
sometimes.
squares, so
They're squares.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
You're a fucking
for the
square.
most part.
But
You're a square. You're a square, John.
But there's squares for all 3 games. So
God,
now
you're
when you're
square.
watching it on Thanksgiving, you got a little bit more invested in the game. Square. And the next day, we are going to be going live here at the D on Black Friday.
Yep.
And we might have a drink or two. I think it's going to be.
Or
But-
7.
I think we're going to do a little bit.
I'm going to be Ubering to and fro the studio.
So it's going to be a good time. Maybe, kind of recap on some of those Thanksgiving games and set up for the Sunday's games. Because we can't go on Thursday. We're not going to go on Thanksgiving. So.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck yeah. I like
Unless you want to ditch out from the wife, but,
No, I'd be for me to ditch out on because basically the family's going to do. She's going up north, and I always stay with my family here. Well, then
No, she's actually going to go down south.
and then I and then I just end up staying home, and me and Greg and whoever else stops by the house. I'm pointing at them, and we watch football.
Yeah, so that's what you're supposed to do on Thanksgiving: get fat and eat and watch football.
Yeah,
but I did want to touch on that since we were talking about the Bills game here. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get this rolling.
Yeah,
And,
definitely. Should be a good time.
Yep. So moving on, we're gonna go Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Arizona Cardinals, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are like the Atlantic Falcons to me.
Done with them, huh?
Oh, I'm done. Like roll them over, put them in the.
Played well.
They
Played well
great
last week in the fourth quarter. They're really good in the fourth
They
quarter.
lost.
But this is a team that's getting better. The little bit more inspiration from Arians. I love Bruce Arians. Really, he was a coach. So but Arizona, honestly, Kenyon Drake pickup at the trade deadline, unbelievable. So it really paid off last week, even if that's the only good game they ever get out of him. Like it was really, he was awesome last week.
Arizona played San Fran close to.
Can I just back up real quick?
Yeah.
With the Cleveland game, when does Hunt come back?
10. Week 10, he's eligible. After week 10.
Oh, so next week.
Yeah.
He's on like the temporary roster.
He's able to He's been able to practice. It was like a conditional suspension where like he couldn't be around the team for like 8 weeks, and then they allow you to come back to condition yourself into coming back for the week that you would be eligible for. I believe he comes back next week.
I knew it was close. I just didn't know.
It's going to be interesting to see how that goes too. So that's something we can dive into next week and really find out when he's for sure going to be back.
I'm going Arizona on this. I have no faith in Tampa Bay. They'll probably win. But Tampa Bay I can't. I'm a non-believer. They could put up a lot of points, but I don't see any defense out of them. Arizona.
Their D-line's decent. This is. I'm going Tampa Bay. I have a little more faith in that defense. Arizona's a good team. I'm not saying
it's gonna be a great game.
It is, dude. It's 2-6 versus 3-5.
Yeah.
3-5-1. They're both evenly matched.
I think Arizona's got the better quarterback.
I think. Oh man, it was no fucking shit.
I can't argue that.
Well, come on, Jameis. Come on. I thought you were a Jameis sympathizer.
I mean. I don't. Fuck you.
He's got to go between Jameis and Kyler Murray. Oh.
I haven't circled it yet, but I'm thinking Tampa Bay here.
I'm going Tampa Bay. I think this is going to be a good game. I also, if you had asked me what these two teams' records were going to be, and I understand that Arizona had the first pick last year in the draft, but I would have said that like both of these teams are a little bit better than their records. I've watched both of these teams play a couple times this year, and I haven't been disappointed. The both teams I've thought have played pretty well this year. Godwin and Evans have been a nice surprise for Tampa Bay to put together. They've finally kind of, I think, solidified that backfield this week. They've officially named a starter. It's Ronald Jones, I believe. So I'm going to go Tampa Bay, but it could be Arizona.
Way to go, Caleb.
The confidence exuding from Caleb right here.
I'm going Tampa Bay. I have faith in that defense. The D-line is playing really well. The O-line just has to hold up enough to, I think it's going to be a tight game, 24-20. Hell, no, probably 34-30, the way these offenses are going.
I bet you're looking at 34-30 somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So. Score fest. But I'm going to stick with Arizona.
And plus, it's a home game, for Tampa Bay, so that always plays a part.
See, I don't think that really matters. Not in Tampa.
Not here?
I don't think Tampa or Arizona. Like I told you, I think I might brought up a couple weeks ago, I was in Tampa for the Super Bowl.
Right. Yep.
Arizona played Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And there was no Arizona fans.
Right.
At all. And I feel like Tampa is kind of those fair weather team fans as well.
Tampa's right around, basically, I figured 2 or 3 wins this year, so they're right there where I expected. And Arizona is 1 more win than I expected. I figured 2 wins tops out of them, so they're actually doing better, but I'm still going Tampa Bay. Mostly because of last week, they really surprised me, even though they lost, how they played. So
nice. I'm going to take a moment and say, are you tired of living in pain? Your medication doesn't seem to be working or it leaves you in a fog? Try a natural, safer alternative with CBD from Utica Hemp. With everything from oil, full spectrum, or THC-free, topicals, CBD flower, and dog treats, Utica Hemp has something for everyone. Visit uticahempco.com or stop in one of their 4 locations in Utica, Herkimer, New Hartford, and Clinton, and speak to one of the knowledgeable staffs about how CBD can help you. Utica Hemp, improve the quality of your life.
And I'm going to move on to EJA Moving Company. Professional movers at 315-335-0516. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everyone and make it simple for you to move and relocate. That's EJAMoving.com. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you.
Thanks, John. Nice hat.
I do want to.
Somebody say steak.
I do have to give Eddie a quick shout out too here because I hit him up this week. Pretty early in the morning. It was like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I asked him because
it was a Saturday.
Eddie's one of those guys with his business that he's the guy you go to when you need somebody for something that's weird, kind of like off the beaten path. So I'm working on this project at the new restaurant, and it has to do with windows and stuff like that. And it's so hard to find a window cleaner. I know this is not really something you think about until you kind of get into businesses. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. Eddie knows everybody. I'm going to reach out to him.
Sells a window liquor.
Okay, thank you. So I reached out to Eddie, and he said, give me a call back later today. He said, I'll see what I could do for you. I'm thinking just maybe he could spew a name off the top of his head. He said, I've been looking all morning. Later on, hit him back up and stuff. He said, I've been looking all morning. I can't find anything for you. I'm really sorry. He took the time out of his day with his business. His business is busy. I live right down the street from where his office is. He took the time out of his business to try to find me somebody, because I was just maybe in his business doings he had a window cleaner, and I was hoping maybe I could just stumble upon one with him. So I mean that's what it is. He's a guy that even whatever you need, go talk to the guys at EJ. They'll figure out your problems.
We love Eddie. He's a great dude. Anytime we need anything, he's always the first one to step up. So great dude. So you need any moving help, go call Eddie. EJA Moving.
Definitely.
So moving on to this next game, the Jets versus the Giants.
Are you going to waste another pick, Caleb?
I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, I am.
He's picking the Giants. This game, honestly,
I'm picking the Giants.
Both got great running backs.
Love's hurt. Love Bell's hurt. But here's the thing, Chicken. You're right. But the Jets have no fucking ability to use Le'Veon Bell. I am not shitting you. It is literally the same fucking play for that guy every time. And when you have a horrible, horrible offensive line in front of him, you know what?
Chicken butt?
Put this fucking guy, put Lev Bell in street clothes for the rest of the fucking year, and put a team around him next year. All right, because this guy's a superstar. You've got other superstars. You've got other stars on this team too. All right, get this team fucking healthy. CJ Mosley, I think is a superstar.
I wouldn't say superstar, but and it's
okay. I mean, I'm not here to fucking split hairs on CJ Mosley, Chicken.
I thought you meant offensively.
I am.
I thought you were speaking more offensively.
They have players that They need a couple more pieces. Obviously, they need offensive line and maybe a few more pieces. Okay, this is a team that was in contention at the beginning of the year to be a competitive team.
They need a good tight end.
This fucking cocksucker has gone out and ruined.
You better be pointing over there.
Yeah, we'll fight about this, man. But he's just gone up one side of this team and down the other, and it's sad. It's fucking pathetic. And I'm still fucking taking my Jets this weekend because I will never turn my back on my Jets.
Well, out of this game, you know who I feel mostly sorry for? Saquon Barkley's dad. He's a diehard Jets fan.
Really? Is he really?
He's coming to the game dressed up in fucking a full-out Jets gear, but cheering for his son.
Man. So I don't think you can do that. Like, yeah, you can be a diehard Jets fan, but like, it's your kid. I do get a kick out of it though. Like when in college basketball or like sometimes in the NBA, very rarely you see it, but like you'll see the mom who like her kids are like on the opposite teams. Mm-hmm. Like they're like. They'll have the half jersey. They'll get like the two jerseys and sew them together. I like that shit. I think that shit's
like
pretty
the Mannings,
cool. So.
like,
yeah, exactly. Like who to root for the Super Bowl? Like
the Harbaugh brothers.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes, the Harbaugh parents had that problem too. Yeah.
So I'm going for Giants.
I am too. Giants showed me more than the Jets did all year.
The Jets offense should have an okay day against that defense, but I think the Giants offense is pretty.
There's nothing up front in New York, gentlemen. There's nothing to stop you from Sam Darnold. He is running scared, and they're not. The other frustrating part is they're not addressing it. If this crop of guys is not working, this is the reason why you have the at 1-8 you have the opportunity, or 1-7 you have an opportunity to sign some of these guys for the practice squad, offensive lineman types. Why not? I don't give a fuck. Like, it can't be fucking much worse. It's literally open season on this poor guy.
Well, and you said Darnold's running for his life, and the Giants had a shitty line too. They still do have.
Yeah,
a shitty
they
line.
do.
And
I mean, it's not Eric Flowers bad, but it's still bad.
Can I stat you here, chicken, and then let you go because this will prove your point. There's the bottom three teams in quarterback hits this year are the Giants at 73. And then the Jets and Dolphins are the next one is up tied at 69. So
69.
Yeah. So that's like that. If that doesn't go to show you, like, and then the next teams that are above them, like the fourth team, is like nine less than even the Jets and Dolphins have.
Which
it just goes
probably the Bears.
Yeah. It just goes to show you how fucking wide open the asshole is on these two guys. In the time that they don't have.
And
it's a gape.
Like,
yeah, it's just fucking enormous.
This Jones kid doesn't seem that shook though. Like And I feel like because the team is buying in on him, they're like, shake it off. Like, you didn't see him hanging his head low. Mm-hmm. You didn't see him. And when you throw a pick and you're a rookie, like, that sticks with you for a while.
Sure.
So I like him. He didn't hang his head low. He came back firing again. Darnold, that's it. That's the thing they got to watch out for. They don't shake his confidence. And that's why, you need a good tight end.
How do you give this guy confidence with this fucking asshole calling the shots?
Right. I mean, you had a Lev Bell, you had a Lev Bell when he was healthy. You should be, the team should go through him. I always felt that, back in years when the Giants, when they had Tiki Barber and they were always trying to go through Eli. I'm like, no, the team should go through Tiki, because Tiki's your main weapon. And I feel like Le'Veon Bell is your superstar on that offense right now. Same thing with the Giants. It's Barkley. Run through those guys.
Let Bell open up your passing game for you. I get what
right.
But it's
screenplay.
You're right. You're right. This is the philosophy that we preach. But here's the problem: when you know it's fucking coming on I can tell you every fucking play that the Jets run when they get the ball on offense. The first play that they run is run Bell right up the asshole of the left guard. And go for 2 yards, or to be honest with you, if he gets 2 yards, throw a fucking party. Because usually it's loss of 3, loss of 2, loss of 1. Because you know it's fucking coming. It's the same fucking thing every time.
Well, that's on the offensive coordinator.
Exactly.
You mix up formation. You could still run the same play, but do it out of a different formation.
Exactly. Yeah.
You've got to mix things up. I mean, there's no way I'm speaking something. This is so simple that there's no way they're not doing it, Caleb. I don't watch the Jets as much as you. But if it's so predictable for you to see it, that means it's very predictable for the team to see it. Now, I'm of the philosophy of, you know what? I don't care if you know exactly what's coming. You have to stop it.
Yes.
That might be where he's coming from as well.
You're very courageous to defend him.
But if teams are stopping it,
Right.
you have to backtrack. And you know what? I've got to rethink.
We have an 8-game sample size. We have 9 games of sample.
But
Or 8 games, yeah.
Screenplays and play action and things of that nature. And they got to have a tight end with a rookie quarterback.
He's got to have a bailout guy. He has to.
He needs.
He has to. You
This
got to
is
give him that guy.
This is where Herndon. Or they're hoping Herndon coming back. Herndon had a PED suspension. Then he got hurt his first day of practice coming back off the PED suspension.
Apparently,
And
didn't take it right.
they were very him and Darnold were very good together last year. They built a pretty good relationship. So. I don't know, man. Get fucking Gase out of town. It's enough to fucking talk about the Jets.
So 2 Giants and 1 Jets, huh?
So weird.
Alrighty then. So we're going to move on to the Saints versus the Falcons. Saints are at home.
Jesus Christ.
I love the Saints line here. I'm okay. I'm going to take the Saints with the 13.
Now is Matt Ryan out?
Yes. I'm going to.
Some Schaub's coming in, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe this dude is still playing.
Matt Ryan is actually questionable.
So he'll play.
He was limited in practice on Thursday.
So here.
So we're all going to Atlanta. Right?
Coming off the bye, right? Usually, like we've always talked, these are the times you make.
I was just thinking Jedi mind trick. Yeah, we're all going.
coming off, or going into a bye week is when you notoriously make huge changes. Everyone ready for the fucking enormous changes that the fucking huge shakeup that happened in Atlanta? They moved Raheem Morris from being wide receivers coach to defensive back coach.
Interesting.
That's our gentlemen. That's our way. That's our way to shake it up.
I gotta pee.
Hello, anyone out there? Atlanta.
It is
like
literally the most useless piece of.
how does fucking Dan Quinn still have his goddamn job? How are we still fucking talking about Dan Quinn being the head coach of that team?
How does a lot of these coaches still?
You goddamn right, chicken. I mean, but it's just like Dan Quinn. How did they let him back on that flight from the fucking West Coast 2 weeks ago?
I said the same thing about Jason Garrett. Like, how does Jason Garrett still have a job?
Yeah, but I don't think this is a similar situation because fucking Quinn's been terrible since he lost since 28-3.
Yeah, but like Garrett's been terrible for the past decade.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't. What has he got? 1 playoff win, maybe 2 in the past decade or so. I mean, at least Quinn hasn't been there that long. At least he has a chance to redeem himself. Granted, he's got all these weapons. And he's doing nothing with
this
it.
fucking Atlanta team is
they need
atrocious.
Defense. They need defense.
They need to clean house and not they have a luxury here. They have a luxury of not having to go full rebuild. They don't need to go full rebuild.
Now, what about a Cam Newton in some place like Atlanta?
So if they were to cut, I saw this the other day too. If they were to cut Matt Ryan, it would cost him $29 million. Oof. So they've got to kind of ride and die with Matt Ryan for a little while here. They gave him a big deal a few years ago. So,
and Matt Ryan's not really the problem.
No, I don't really think so. I mean, has he been playing great, chicken? I think we can both agree no. Right. But at the same time, like, is it awful? No. So, but
I'd say like if it's that bad, let Schaub finish it out. Let Schaub finish it out. You know what I mean? Like, why risk getting him hurt? Why risk getting Ryan hurt when you're not in contention?
Dan Quinn's resume when he tries to get another job in a few years. He's got a better coaching record.
Well, he's what? He's an offensive coordinator.
D
coordinator. Right.
Yeah.
Well, then he'll find a job. No big deal.
Saints.
I'm going Saints all day.
Saints,
long.
yeah.
I mean, with Drew Brees coming back and Kamara coming, we're looking.
No, not Drew Brees coming back. He's back already, and then they had a bye week, so he's had 2 weeks to prepare.
And then Kamara's back.
Yeah,
he's been out for a while. We've been playing they've been playing with backups, and their backups are good. I mean, people forgot how good Latavius Murray is. Murray's a beast, and now you get Kamara back, and everywhere Murray's played though, he had somebody just a little bit better. But I like this team. I like the way they're built. They were my pick to go to the Super Bowl, and I'm still with them. So I'm in New Orleans. I think that's kind of all the way around. Kind of the same thing with the next game, Baltimore versus Cincinnati. I don't care if they're at home or not.
AJ Green is not going to play this week.
I wouldn't either if I were him. That's another guy. How the coach
Taylor.
like these I don't know, like Cincinnati. I don't like. They need to clean house. Get rid of
No,
Dalton,
they
get rid of
did
Green.
clean house. Well, okay, so you're saying player wise?
Yeah, just start all over again. Get that equity, like we've seen with some of these other teams. Like Miami's getting equity. Raiders are getting some equity. The Browns.
Well, they missed their chance. They fucking missed their chance. They did Andy Dalton dirty. Mm-hmm. Okay, because they apparently they didn't tell him that they didn't bench him until after the trade deadline.
And he said, "Just trade me then."
So the team didn't have a chance. Him and his agent didn't have an explore. That's a classy move that you give that guy the opportunity to go out and explore an opportunity somewhere.
Right.
You do that. You don't dog that guy because to be honest with you, probably could have. No, I don't think they would have wasted more picks on a quarterback. But
who was the kid that a couple years ago they tried trading to the Browns and then they didn't fill out the paperwork correctly and it didn't happen and
AJ McCarron.
And like you screwed that up. How do you screw that? And McCarron was never the. I don't understand what people were selling that kid anyways.
Cincinnati's front office is run very differently. It's very odd.
So he's not even fucking playing.
That's what I'm saying. They should have just traded him.
Should have just done him the fucking due diligence and sent him out of town before the deadline. So. But enough about the fucking shitty Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, Ravens by 10 easily.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Not even a.
Yeah.
Bears, Lions. I have no faith in this game at all.
Both teams are pretty bad. I mean, I'm surprised at the 2.5 point line. It opened at Chicago minus 3.5.
I'm gonna go with Bears simply more because they're at home.
That's
playing
where
the elements.
That's where I'm headed. I'm hoping the past 4 weeks have been a kick in the butt. I'm gonna pick the Bears.
Hoping the past 10 years have been a kick in the butt.
Tough loss for Detroit last week. Against as we said, a decent Oakland team.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with the Bears. Going back to the well one more time. I think Chicago Bears.
I've picked the Bears in 3 weeks.
Really,
It's like
I've been fine.
If you look at the last several drives from the Bears, like the past couple weeks, they started getting the ball moving. Like I said, they upped the tempo, and you start seeing more production. I get it. More teams are probably laid back in more coverage, but like. Back in the day, like back in the 80s, we seen what the Bills did when they went with a hurry-up offense. Let's do it. Let's get this kid moving. Like get some design runs in there. Keep the freaking defenses guessing. Like that's why all those other trick plays worked and all these weird pass plays because Trubisky would just take the ball down and run with it and like he'd get 15, 20 yards and now he keeps a guy back there to spy. They can't just tee off on you. Like I just feel like the creativity of the offense is not there. The offensive line's not there. The coach doesn't know what the freak.
I don't even fucking care about the creativity. I just want execution. Yeah. Fucking block somebody.
Nagy call plays.
You need to make a 2-foot fucking hole for somebody to sneak through, and they can't even do that right now.
I don't even know who the O coordinator is.
Does he call plays, Nagy?
Nagy calls the plays, and he it just came up this week. He doesn't see how it'll benefit the team for him to relinquish that.
Yeah, go back a couple years ago when he was in Kansas City and he was calling plays and they lost the game because he didn't run the ball with Kareem Hunt.
Right.
Well, that's here's the other thing too. Matt Nagy, I don't know if you guys realize this or not. Matt Nagy, when he was the OC in Kansas City, he acquired that title halfway through the season.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Andy Reid, Andy Reid, his fucking mentor, Andy Reid, who's one of the most respected head coaches of all time. I personally believe. Had the wherewithal to give up his play calling duties, and you can't learn from that and see what the infusion that you brought to an offense. It just gets stagnant. Do you almost feel like this guy's taking his play sheet and like just hiding it from the rest of the fucking coordinators? Like he's running down the hallway.
I feel like that.
He reminds me on Waterboy. The coach at Waterboy, and he's afraid to like draw his plays up. But I think Nagy thinks he is Andy Reid. I think all that hoopla went to his head, and he thinks that like, I'm this guru. Like you should listen to me. Last year he had something going, but this year like it just something's not translating to the players.
He seems like a little kid that like you told a secret to, and like he goes around and is like, haha, fuck you, I know the secret. Like ha ha ha. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I don't know. It's very different. Especially you watch this happen. You lived what you need to do right now, and you saw what it did for your team when you were in Kansas City. That change, and it sparked that team. So spark your team because this team at that time, I would tell you this team was more talented than that Kansas City team.
And I'll tell you, like you look at the amount that Kansas City dropped after Nagy left. I mean, it's just. I mean, you could tell how much he had a scope.
Play with sarcasm.
Totally.
Well, I'm worried about the Bears because with the whole shutdown of no TV on the facilities, to me it sounds like they're shutting down. They're tired of it. They don't want to hear it. So you know what? We're going to block it out. We don't want to hear it anymore. We don't care.
And where is Khalil Mack? Where has he been? Right. Like the past few 4 or 5 weeks, I haven't seen this dude do anything.
He had some pressures. Leonard Floyd has been getting a lot of double, triple teams as well. So he's actually playing better this year than I expected of him.
And you can see where we're missing Hakeem Hicks.
Yeah.
That's a huge loss of that defense. But still, I mean, that's when a guy like Khalil Mack needs to step up. I mean, we're talking about both Bosas. Yeah. We're talking about, all these, I mean, Nick Bosa is a rookie and he's killing it.
Right.
He's playing the way Mac should be playing right now, and we don't see shit out of Mac. Like, he was our one-man wrecking crew, and he hasn't done nothing. I think Robert Roy or whatever the friggin' that kid's name's got more sacks than Khalil Mack right now. And somebody should need to be looking for this guy in a milk carton somewhere because he ain't playing right now.
So I'm willing to go out on a limb and let's say Bears. Go Bears.
I'm going with Bears. I'm probably going to regret it, but being outside in the elements, cold weather, you always got to go Bears over Detroit.
Yeah.
Indianapolis versus Miami. I mean, Miami's on that win.
Talk to me about Jacoby Brissett there, Sil. Talk to me about Jacoby Brissett in this game. Are we sticking with Brian Hoyer under center?
Let's see. So I actually looked this up earlier, and I completely forgot.
I don't think it really matters for me. If you got Brian Hoyer.
He was limited at practice on Thursday.
I think they'll make it a closer game with Brian Hoyer's playing. Yeah. Brian Hoyer's a professional. He's been in the league for a long, long time. He's played on some really shitty teams, and he plays on some good teams.
That Indy defense is good enough to
mask
against Miami is good enough to hold up.
Marlon Mack,
yeah,
some of those guys.
I'm in the run game, yes. Yep. So it doesn't matter who plays at QB. Indy's winning this.
And I think the defense on Indy is by far better than anything that Miami's going to.
Yeah, no, that's exactly why. Yeah, I don't care. Fitzpatrick isn't going to have the game he had last week against
He's not going to have that walk in the park.
He's right there.
Who's that? I'm going Indy. I'm going to go Indy too.
I think you have to. I mean, yeah. I mean, I know Miami finally got off the skid, but
don't I know it?
Green Bay versus the Panthers. This one,
it's a good game.
Good game. I mean, Kyle Allen's come down to earth a little bit, which I think he had to. I also think it's been kind of done on purpose with Kyle Allen to bring him down a little bit.
Did not come down from earth.
No, yet. God, no. Do you think he ever will?
He's an alien.
Yeah, he's fucking nuts, man.
And you got Christian McCaffrey. You got to remember the pedigree of this guy. Remember his old man.
Yep.
Ed McCaffrey, I remember he caught that ball.
Concussion after concussion and still fucking.
That one day he screwed up his leg, like Crumb Rye. Screwed up his leg, and he held onto the ball in the middle of the field, leg just all mangled up. But that was McCaffrey. He was a tough dude. He was always that guy that ended up wide open, but catching those tough balls and taking huge hits. Mm-hmm. And you can see his kid is the same way. He's a beast. So
the other two, there's two other sons too. The pedigrees there. There's two other sons that played. One of them's still in college, I believe, at the moment, and the other one was on Green Bay's practice squad. He went to Duke. He had a pretty good career, but I think he might be in Denver now. The son. So
really,
yeah. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But
and they can protect your computer against viruses.
Oh jeez! Wow!
Oh my God!
You get they'd send you the little disc in the old Pony Express.
Nerd humor.
So stupid.
This is goddamn nerd.
This is the revenge game for Green Bay. I think Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, come back this week.
Yeah, they're going to come out with a fucking head full of steam here, I think.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I think you're right. I think Green Bay is going to come back. Green Bay,
they're pissed. Aaron Rodgers, he said it was a wake-up game. He goes, that's the level we got to play at, so...
And Panthers, I mean, they're a good team.
They're a good team. I just think that Allen is going to have another bad week this week.
Interesting pickup by Carolina this week, by the way, too. I don't know if you guys followed this guy. Here's a guy who fell from the graces, Dante Moncrief.
Oh wow.
Dante Moncrief signed this offseason in Pittsburgh, played 4 snaps the first game of the season, and then they healthy scratched him the rest of the way.
Right.
And
They put him on waivers this week, and Carolina picked him up. So maybe he'll have a role there. We'll see. I mean, I'm not saying anything, but this is a when you see a proven commodity go across the waiver wire, then it kind of gets the wheels start turning. I was blown away that Moncrief didn't have more of an impact in Pittsburgh because he was very good when he was in India and stuff like that. So we'll see. Maybe Carolina's the place for him.
I liked some of the late acquisitions that we've seen some of these teams make, like Sanu to the Patriots, Josh Gordon to Seattle. I like that pick a lot.
Well, I hate to bring
Sanders to the 49ers.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I'm going to bring this up. I don't want to fucking do it, but I have to because I just heard about it today.
You don't have to do it. I know what you're going to do.
You can do it.
Russell Wilson, speaking of Seattle, pitched for them to sign Antonio Brown. But then Seattle turned around and they put their due diligence in to find out the background of Josh Gordon and everything, and then they signed him.
Basically, what they did was this is what they did. Their due diligence. This is what it was.
They threw a curveball.
Russell Wilson walked into the GM's office with probably like a couple other of the fucking staff in the office and was like, "I think we should go get Antonio Brown. I think I can corral him." They were like, "All right." They probably sent the 3 interns that were in the office out of the office and were like, "All right, go do some research about Antonio Brown." And then Russell Wilson probably left the office, like fucking giving himself a good pat on the back. He left the office, they shut the door, and probably fucking just pissed their fucking pants all over the room, just laughing at his
Find another wide receiver, quick.
Yeah, find us somebody fucking different, and that's how they got Gordon. Interesting fact too to note, guys. Like, not for nothing. This is part of the waiver policy. The way the waivers work is if a player is put through waivers, it starts from the claiming from the worst team currently in the NFL to the best team at the start of the NFL week.
All the way up there.
So he got pretty hot. There's a lot of teams that pass on Josh Gordon.
That's why he's out there.
But he made a move, so we'll see. We could talk a little bit more about him, I guess, when we get to Seattle. What were we talking about here? Carolina.
I think we just finished the Packers.
We were talking about Dante Moncrief.
Who did you pick?
I'm going Pack.
Pack? All right,
All
so
three
3 Packers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Rams. Pittsburgh's at home.
Pittsburgh's playing great lately.
Don't lay it up. Don't lay it up here, boys. Don't.
Great. I wouldn't say playing great. I would say they beat some teams that they should have beaten. Indy, I was surprised that they beat Indy, but again, it was an Indy with Brissett getting hurt towards the end of the game.
No, actually, he got hurt early in the game. Yeah.
I only seen the second half, so I'm going Rams.
Cooks is out rest of the year, man.
Tough loss for them.
Well, it's a concussion. He's ruled out for this week, but it could be season-ending. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, but they got so many other weapons.
I know. They're just they're one of those wishy-washy teams this year, and Steelers are on the rise. I'm going to pick the Rams, but it's tough for me to do so. I'm just letting you know that I'm doing this with a little doubt, but I'm picking the Rams.
No John Connor this week for Pittsburgh.
Oh, Terminator finally got him?
How about James Conner?
James Conner. Jesus Christ, man. I'm sorry, guys. I've only had one drink tonight,
All right,
too.
Listen up, everybody.
That was awesome.
So.
No. Okay.
So James. Wow.
That's the next commercial written all over it.
Oh man.
Fucking Christ. Should have been sick again this week.
All right, I'm going Rams on this. I don't care. I'm going to Gardiman. So
That's good, man. That's fucking great.
wow.
Holy shit.
He's not fucking laughing this in his life, I don't think.
That was fucking. I totally forgot we had that. That's why I was like, oh my god, that's so fucking funny.
Oh, man. Wow. Anybody still out there?
Yeah, luckily nobody's
Oh no,
losing
that's the thing. Nobody fucking saw that. I'm so mad. That was so funny.
So you're going Pittsburgh?
No, I'm going Rams.
God damn it.
Trick him into it. Caleb, who are you going with
I'm
here?
going to go with the Rams.
You're going Rams as well?
Yeah.
All right. So moving on.
Please.
And why is it fucking
Shut up, John.
fucking Terminator
Shut up, John.
Wow.
God, we're so old.
You see, they got a new movie out? Anyhow, Cowboys and Vikings. Even though the Cowboys beat the Giants, they show me they're very vulnerable. the Cowboys. The Giants are, like we said, a bad team. They got some stars on the rise, but I feel like Minnesota, like if they couldn't pick up Minnesota,
yeah, he said that. Look, Jesus Christ, you got to put your Canada on your back there, huh?
He just Luke Fisk in his fucking
Yeah. They don't use loonies and toonies there, eh?
I'm gonna go with the Vikings, Cooks. I mean, this kid,
he's a dude.
He's a beast.
They really took it to KC last week. They threw everything at him.
I took it to a Casey one time too. She's pretty great.
If they play like if Minnesota can play like that again on the road, tough place to play, Dallas. I really think Minnesota can beat them. I really do,
gentlemen. Thursday, Sunday, Monday night. I think we might have hit a week.
Yeah, all good games. Like a trip.
Yeah. Perhaps on paper, what should be good games.
Yes.
All right.
You're right.
I'm going to go in this game with Dallas because I fucking hate Minnesota. Fucking hate Kirk Cousins.
I told you he was going to go Dallas.
Are you serious? You're going to let that fucking bitterness take you away from such an obvious pick?
Let him lose.
I don't
Let
think.
him lose. All right,
I don't think it's so obvious. I mean, I think
you're right. It's not because Dallas is a good team. They got a great running game. Dak's a great quarterback. They got
but if you shut that running game down, they're done. They're done. They're not like if Minnesota has the defense that they could shut Ezekiel Elliott down, and you shut him down and you make Dak Prescott beat you. He's not going to beat you with that
was one of my two questions. Was do you think Dak can win a game all by himself? And B, with me, I think the Viking, I don't think the Dallas Cowboy offense can stop the Viking. Dallas Cowboy defense can stop the Viking offense.
I was going to say, who's going to cover Diggs and Thielen and Rudolph,
right?
And then you got
Thielen,
Cooks coming through there.
That's where my decision comes from.
Not being a dick here. Don't think Thielen's playing this weekend. Not sure. I think he was out last weekend. He's had a lot of injury problems last few weeks. Yeah,
but, I mean,
but like you said, there's other options. It's that
questionable. Didn't practice Thursday, so good.
He's going to play.
Yeah,
against the Dallas.
No practice on Thursday. Well, we got all the way to Sunday night. That's a good point.
And it's a Dallas game too, and it's like it's a big game. That's very lot like playoff contention.
We could also see maybe a little decoy, little gamesmanship with him, maybe a little bit, maybe limited snap count type thing for Thielen.
Oh yeah, Would I put it past Minnesota to use him as a decoy for fake deep routes and whatnot? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I think if Thielen plays, he's gonna be a factor in this game. He's not gonna be just used as a decoy. I think at first it may be, but I think Dallas's corners don't thrill me. They don't really thrill me. I mean, the Giants were getting some big chunks out of that passing game. And with a veteran quarterback like Kirk Cousins, I know how much you hate him, but he's been playing good as of late. And I hate saying nice things about Minnesota.
Seems like every time we do, they poo-poo,
which I'm okay with. Either one of these teams losing,
no, I'm okay with it too, but it makes it tough picking fucking games.
But I think I see where Dallas is, suspect to good running backs like they were with Barkley, and they get it. Everybody's a little suspect with Barkley, but I mean Cooks is a really good running back, and I feel like he's gonna open it up a few, a couple big runs on that at Dallas defense.
I'm okay with it.
And Dallas had some lucky plays last week. They got away with some lucky stuff.
And when you got to do lucky stuff to beat the Giants, that's not good.
Does Dallas ever play on the road?
Right?
No, they have at least a 15-game home schedule.
It's like Green Bay too.
Fuck, man. Yeah, Green Bay's the same way too. I agree. Jesus,
which means that last stretch is going to be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So
and finish it out.
2 Vikings versus 1 Dallas, right?
Yeah, I'm going Dallas.
Yep.
All right. So this game is a really good game.
Excited for Sunday or for Monday night,
and I'm going and I'm going with the same mentality that I went in with last week, where it was Baltimore versus the Patriots. I'm going with Seattle handing the 49ers their first loss. I feel like whether or not Josh Gordon plays, to me, doesn't really play in a factor. I would still pick Seattle either way. The team they got right now, that Metcalf kid, and some of the guys that they got balling out. I mean, Russell Wilson. I mean, he's going to find a way to win. 49ers, I've been a non-believer, but man, they're a great team. They really are a strong team.
Totally a non-believer, and I've picked against them most weeks, I believe. And
I have too.
So I'm done.
If they beat Seattle, I'm like, okay, the 49ers are legit.
Well, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon before this week because I feel their defense is so good that they're going to interrupt that Seattle offense. And I love Seattle's offense. I love it. But you know what? Russell Wilson had a tough time last week. He got rushed and sacked a few times. I think San Fran's going to be able to carry that over. So that's why I'm picking. I don't like 6, but I think San Fran's going to win. So,
but you got now if Josh Gordon does,
he's not playing.
He's not.
He's not. He's on the injury reserve.
Are you sure about that? Because I just read somewhere that he was off and he's expected to play.
Let's see.
I don't think he'll play this week. Who knows? Could be Chick.
I don't think he can play.
I could have sworn they said he was playing this week. I could have sworn it.
Your fucking source sucks ass. You're probably right.
He's not on the injury report from what I can see.
Because they were talking about him being a factor in the game, and actually they were talking with
how much of a factor is he going to be being there only a week?
Because I was that's where I heard it. It was a fantasy thing where they're saying sit Metcalf because they feel like with Gordon coming in, he might get some more of the red zone.
Yeah, I mean that is a good point. Tyler Lockett's been fucking phenomenal for them too this year in Seattle. You got to tip your hat to that guy.
Which is why I think this acquisition of bringing Gordon in is such a great acquisition because they don't have that stellar number 1, but they got some really strong number 2s.
Sure.
Like Caleb had one earlier.
Yeah. Boy, did I.
He had it in Miami.
Ooh. I'm going to go 49ers. I love Jimmy Garoppolo. I love Kyle Shanahan. What these guys are doing is just really cool to me. John Lynch, the product he's put on the field for this team. I just think they keep rolling. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest thing last week against Arizona on Thursday night.
You know what? It could have been worse. Arizona had one drive where they came out, went no huddle, and just every play was positive yards, and it was all no huddle, quick. And this was early third quarter, maybe late second. But either way, it was early enough in the game. It wasn't against garbage time. All right, the game was still, I think, almost positive it was second, but it was just play after play after play after play, no huddle, just go, 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 go. And I really wish they would have kept that because it seemed like it had the San Fran defense on their toes.
See, and here's why I'm going with Seattle too is this is historically for the past, 10, 15 years have been Seattle's division. And Seattle knows it. And Seattle's like coming in, they're like, this is our division. We're taking this. Okay. And I feel like they have that
swagger,
the swagger, the bully mentality that come in like we're taking our division back.
Yo, this is ours.
Whereas 49ers are kind of living on that like, oh, we're undefeated. I feel like this is gonna be a good game.
So it could be their letdown game. I see what you're.
I think so. I think this could be their wake up call.
Right.
They're like the 49ers be like,
this is the level we have to play at if we
we're
want
not
to
as good as we thought we were. Seattle's a great team.
They are.
We got to learn how to beat the great teams. They haven't played a great team yet. They played some good teams, strong Carolina, and I said I'll take them serious once they beat Carolina. But if they beat Seattle, I'm looking at them like, okay, these guys are them and New Orleans to be in the division. But right now, for me, it's still New Orleans, Seattle, and then the 49ers right underneath.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I could be totally wrong, but I like what both teams did. They went out and got Sanders, 49ers did, and then they went and Seattle went and got the Gordon. But they're like, we're not sitting back. We're not going to say, okay, we're going to write out what we have. We've been good so far. They're like, let's get even better. Both teams are like, we need to get up, get better. And they're not just laying back like New England.
Yeah.
They're not sitting back saying, okay, we're going to.
Right. Yeah, no, New England's still making moves. So it's like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
So, I'm going Seattle. So, screw you guys.
Okay. Any fantasy picks this week, Caleb?
Yeah, let's do that because the running back situation in Pittsburgh.
John Connor.
As I alluded to, Jalen Samuel is like a must play for me this weekend. Just with how much Pittsburgh loves to lean on, running back situation and whatnot like that. I like Calvin Ridley too. Atlanta against New Orleans. Just from the New Orleans defense has played well this year, but I just feel like he could have a big. I feel like that game's going to be a shootout. I feel like both of these quarterbacks could throw for a lot. Even with a backup quarterback in like Schaub, I feel like this still could be a real fucking
Schaub's
bruising
numbers in the past.
Bruising matchup of 300+ yard quarterbacks. So.
Really, Schaub?
Schaub put up numbers back.
I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm not telling you to play. I'm not saying play Schaub. I'm just saying that I don't think that you're gonna. I don't think that you're gonna get crushed playing either Julio or Ridley this weekend. As much as people think would be like, oh, I'm not gonna play him because Ryan's not playing.
That Saints defense is pretty good.
They are, and I think
the
that
cornerbacks are not.
I think the Atlanta offensive line is terrible. So that's why I'm. It's Caleb's fantasy picks. I don't mean to pick at it.
Don't go ahead, John.
I say pick Mitch Trubisky this week.
I don't want to poo-poo on your show.
No, my spotlight here.
Yeah.
Spotlight ruined. Okay, so as far as a couple other plays too. If you could find a way to have Chubb this weekend, Buffalo's defense has been very stout. Only reason I say Chubb is because Chubb catches the ball as well. Besides, runs the ball out of the backfield. If you're in a PPR league, that's where I say he's not going to exploit Buffalo's defense. But I think he could play if they're going to succeed this weekend. He could play an integral part.
We've seen Adrian Peterson have a big game against them.
Sure,
Chicken's just in a PP league.
Yes, of course. Yes.
But Chubb's been probably like the main constant, good quality on that team.
Yeah, and the one thing that you start thinking about now in your fantasy leagues, because you're starting to get toward the last few weeks of the season and you're starting to get toward playoff time, and you start to think about your keeper for next year. Okay, you need to start considering guys. Some of your little lesser known guys that people aren't talking about, but he's one of the statistically best players in the league, like an Aaron Jones, the running back in Green Bay. He's a guy that you would consider keeping in a dynasty league for fantasy. He's also a play every week if you can find the money to work. I've been noticing trends on DraftKings and FanDuel. People are not, for some reason, they're not upping his price as high as I think they should. So I always think that Aaron Jones is a good value play, even with Jamal Williams there in that backfield as well. And it's hard to not love Marlon Mack this weekend too, with against Miami.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, wow.
That's where I would take that. And
what about Daniel Jones right now going into the shitty?
A horrible cornerbacks in New York for the Jets. That could be an option too. A little nervous on who's going to be throwing the ball to. I know we talked about Tate earlier, but if Tate's your kind of your one trick pony this weekend, because no Sterling Shepard could present a little bit of a problem. But
Ingram.
But if Pat Shurmur has been a coach that has been very good for Daniel Jones's upbringing here, progression. So he mixes plays well, unlike the fucking other asshole who's going to look across the sidelines too. So yeah. So that's where I would go this weekend. And if you're looking for a really big savings to try to go up and get one of those top tier players,
huge savings,
then to be honest with you, Mason Rudolph, quarterback, under center. I know it's crazy against the Rams. I know it sounds crazy against the Rams.
That is stupid crazy against the Rams.
Oof.
The Rams quarterbacks have done surprisingly a lot better than you think against the Rams defense.
What
this
about
year.
Tannehill against that Kansas City defense?
No, I don't.
Getting into a shootout.
I don't. Here's the thing, Chicken. Though I don't trust. Like I would, if you want somebody from Tennessee, it's Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going out on a limb. The fantasy pick of the week.
What do you got for us, John?
Mitch Trubisky against the Lions secondary.
Okay. I could see it. I mean, you want it?
It'll be the cheapest fucking pick of the week. You could stack the rest of your fucking roster. Just pick Mitch this week.
Yeah. Why don't you, John? Why don't you just go ahead as we
had too many UCs
as we head out here? What did you drink tonight, John?
Oh, well, I enjoyed the delicious hometown beverage Utica Club. It's a pilsner that's been around since Prohibition. First beer released.
Yes. First beer sold after Prohibition.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Utica Club, baby.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Next week, join us again. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Same fucking idiots.
Same people.
Fat channel.
All right, I'm gonna leave you on this one just for Sil.
All right, listen up, everybody. This is former Governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're listening to the D-Line, only on Disruption Networks. That's the D. Do it now.
It's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge to benefit the Bahamas Disaster Relief Fund. Sunday, December 1st, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. AMF Panorama Lanes, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica. Come have fun and enjoy a few games of bowling for a good cause. There will be prizes, food and drink specials, and some special challenges mixed in along the way. $20 per bowler or $100 per team includes 2 games and shoe rental. All proceeds go directly to the Bahamas Relief Foundation. That's Bowling for the Bahamas and Celebrity Bowling Challenge, presented by Disruption Network, Holy Pozzoli, and AMF Panorama Lanes. Sunday, December 1st, 1724 Genesee Street, Utica.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar, brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.